In my world, you're well regarded. You were an X-Man. Fuck that, you were the X-Man. The Wolverine. He's a hero in my world.
Yeah, well, he ain't shit in mine.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel and time for another episode of Luke's Reviews. On today's video, we're going to be discussing what honestly might just be the most anticipated Marvel movie probably since Spider-Man No Way Home. So I'm going to cut the preamble, let's make some chimmy fucking chungas and talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. We're reunited with Wade Wilson having hung up his Deadpool suit and living quite the solitary, mundane life, struggling to find a sense of belonging and purpose. But when the TVA come knocking on Wade's door, he is flung into a crazy sequence of events full of multiversal hijinks and finally teaming with his clawed bestie, Wolverine. Ever since that test footage leaked in 2014, the possibilities of what Deadpool in a live-action sense could do has seemingly been endless, and now as we enter his third feature film outing, those possibilities are really being put to the test. Not only does Deadpool and Wolverine bring us the long-awaited team-up of the Merc with the Mouth and Weapon X, but specifically Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool and Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine. X-Men Origins Wolverine, that team up there, that doesn't count. We all know that. And then, as if it wasn't already salivating enough, things are made even more tantalizing by the fact that this is going to be Deadpool and Wolverine's debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They are finally being let in to the sandbox to end all sandboxes. That being said, I had concerns going into this film. Namely, will this in any way cheapen the events of what happened in Logan? Will Deadpool being unleashed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe work? Or will it just feel too chaotic? And after feeling somewhat underwhelmed with Free Guy, was Shawn Levy the right choice to direct this?
Fucking A.
I'm overjoyed to say that Deadpool and Wolverine is the most fun I have had in the cinema in 2024. And for anyone who is sat there having not seen the film yet that's hoping it delivers on the fireworks, oh, you are going to get some fireworks. From the opening scene alone, Shawn Levy dismantled any shred of concern that I had of him as a director. This is the hardest I have laughed in a scene, not just this year, but in a long, long time at the movies. The rest of the jokes in this film fly at the audience at just a ridiculous rate of knots. Multiple viewings of this film are going to be needed, and that's not to just appreciate the film, and that's not to unpick all of the Marvel Easter eggs. That is just simply because I don't think in one viewing you are going to be able to hear all of the jokes, because they will say a joke, and whilst you are laughing, there are about 3 other jokes that are being said at the same time. So you're going to miss some. And having seen the film twice now, there are jokes that I watched the second time round. I didn't even register them when I watched it the first time. And for anyone concerned that Disney were going to muzzle Deadpool, there is no muzzle to be found. Everything is fair game. There is nothing off limits. I kid you not, there are jokes that I am genuinely stunned that they went out and did. In fact, I'd argue that there are more meta jokes in this Deadpool movie than there are in the first 2 combined. Ryan Reynolds remains one of, if not the, most perfect comic book movie casting in history. How he embodies everything there is about Deadpool and never allows himself to dip, keeping his energy level at a constant high, is really impressive. It just has to be marveled at. But here more than ever, Reynolds genuinely seems to be loving every single second of this ride. Whether it's because there's just more for Deadpool to take a crack at in this film, or it's the fact that Reynolds is getting to work alongside 2 of his closest friends, Hugh Jackman and Shawn Levy, this is the most enthusiastic Deadpool that we've come across. And if this is just a taster for what we could get of him exploring the MCU down the line, I really don't know what else he could be capable of. I really don't know what else he could be capable of. Alongside Reynolds, clearly having a blast in this role, not that he never did previously, but this is such a different interpretation. Hugh Jackman is back as Wolverine. Like I said though, I had my worries. Spoilers for Logan, but he died. Logan's dead. And Logan was the most perfect conclusion to that character imaginable, but not just that, it was the ideal swan song for Hugh Jackman saying goodbye to a character that he had played since 2000 and had been a staple, an icon of the comic book movie genre. Thankfully, I'm very happy to say that the significance of Logan remains intact. Logan happened. Without giving too much away, what we're getting here is a very different Logan altogether. He's still pissed off, he's still grizzled, he's still hell-bent against the world, but this Logan is carrying more of a grudge on his shoulder. It's a side to Logan that hasn't necessarily been explored like this before, and Jackman's commitment to the role really does pay it wonders. Jackman really hasn't lost any of that physical presence of Wolverine either, and his back and forth with Reynolds is why you want to pay for a ticket to see this movie. How awesome was it to see the yellow and blue suit? And that's just the start. But when watching Deadpool and Wolverine finally sharing the screen together properly, as well as a whole host of other Marvel surprises that will have fans on their feet, it all felt somewhat surreal. Deadpool is my favourite superhero of all time, and Wolverine was the superhero of my adolescence. I grew up watching the Fox Marvel films. I grew up watching X-Men. So to see these two palling up, knocking seven bells of shit out of each other, fucking around in the MCU. I've wanted to see this for so long. But that did also mean that there were a few occasions where I had to just kind of remove myself a little bit from the film and take a look at the bigger picture and think, oh my god, this is actually happening. And keeping some of the points vague, yes, you can expect a lot of multiversal hijinks. There's some surprises, there are some cameos, some are just little throwaway jokes, some are jaw-dropping. I did not see these coming. Deadpool and Wolverine doesn't just deliver on wild humour, it also doesn't put a foot wrong when it comes to the action. For anyone concerned that Marvel Studios may look to tone down Deadpool's violence, fear not, because blood pours in this film. I mean, the film stars two invulnerable characters, and Levy and his writing team find amazing ways for them to just tear each other to shreds. And the showdowns that they have, each of them feel like a main event level scrap. Funnily enough though, the most disturbing act of violence doesn't feature katanas or claws. It's all from Cassandra Nova, the film's primary antagonist. She has a way of entering people's minds that will tie your stomach in knots. Unfortunately for Cassandra Nova, and for Emma Corrin as well, this isn't a villain who will be regarded as an all-time great. Cassandra's motivations range from convoluted to unclear, and eventually center around a giant, inescapable MacGuffin. And I had the same criticism for the story itself. It's fine. It's serviceable, it's actually surprisingly simple. It's not some groundbreaking epic that will forever shift the landscape of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's a straightforward buddy trip comedy action that really solely exists just so Deadpool and Wolverine can team up and go out on their adventures together. It's also refreshing as well that this is a Marvel movie that doesn't require you to have done hours upon hours of research into the films and the TV shows that came before it. At most, you maybe just have to have a rudimentary understanding of some of the Fox Marvel films, but that's only really to get some of the nods and references. And ultimately, that is what Deadpool and Wolverine choose to do. It's not interested in paving the way for the future. Its intentions are to celebrate and bid farewell to those movies that myself and I'm sure millions and millions of other people grew up with and celebrated at a time when superhero movies weren't all that common. And to see them brought to life and see them brought to screen really felt consequential. The soundtrack is a brilliant mix of classic needle drops that will either have you pumping your fist in just sheer awesomeness or having to hold your gut from belly laughing so frickin' hard. And how could I forget the MVP of the entire film, Dogpool. That little ugly rat will steal your heart. If someone were to tell me that they found Deadpool and Wolverine overbearing and annoying, I actually would completely see where they're coming from. But only because the film does such a good job in presenting Deadpool. He is overbearing and annoying. The jokes have a stupidly high batting average, and the action is balls to the wall crazy. In fact, this might just be the wildest Marvel movie to date. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Shawn Levy knew the expectations of this film and managed to deliver a blistering blockbuster that stays true to its central characters but has a Cheshire grin getting to play with them. I'm gonna give Deadpool and Wolverine an 8.5 out of 10. Anyway, guys, those were my thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine. Let me know, have you had a chance to see the film yet? What did you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Now, my question to you, I would like to know, who is your favourite superhero duo? But that is all the time we have for today, so thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button, and if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.